NBA code. On the 14th floor in a bedroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the party's mixed, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 152 of Phired Up. Check us out at firedupsports.com. I'm Mike Leto. Joining me as always, Dom Console. Dom, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. What's going on?
Not much. Listen, we have a whole lot to talk about, and hardly any of it involves Philly sports. So, we'll just kind of get into it. But, yeah, I mean, there's really not a whole lot on tonight. Stanley Cup playoff game on, NBA playoff game on. Other than that, the Phillies already won earlier.
A couple baseball games.
Yeah, a couple baseball games on. But Philly's playing like a 4 o'clock Monday game. It doesn't happen often. It's very weird.
Like, ends the series, too.
Right,
That's the strange part. I've only ever seen that maybe, like, one other time in my life.
It does not happen
remember,
often.
That I can remember, so.
Yeah. They play tomorrow, too, right? They don't have a day off, do they?
No, they play tomorrow. They play a 2-game series
Yeah, they
against
do.
Toronto.
Toronto, yep. Mm-hmm. So,
Yeah.
little odd, but it is what it is. They're rolling. They're rocking and rolling. We'll talk about it. But first off, before we kind of get into all that stuff, is the bracket that we talked about last week, because we don't just talk about sports here, right? It's everything. So the post 2000 comedy bracket that you made, throughout the week, you were posting the polls on there. It got some decent traction.
Yep.
Yeah, how do you want to do this? This is your thing. So doing matchup by matchup.
Yeah,
what do you want to do?
No, let's do matchup by matchup. With some time to kill, right? Like you said, not a ton to talk about Philly sports. I don't know. I just got this
the only
idea.
thing that happened this week, and not including Philly sports, is your bracket and the biggest rap beef in the history of
right,
which I'm sure
we'll get into. Yes. So like I said last week, I kind of, really a week and a half ago, I had this idea. I love comedy movies, love comedy. I saw somebody's list on Twitter that had their top 10 best comedy movies post 2000, and I didn't really agree with it. So I was like, it'd be really cool to have a top 30 or I was like, well, what if we just did a full 64? So I just had Twitter vote on it. I can't vote on it. We actually talked about this before the show. The only time I'm going to be able to vote on it is if there's a tie, which we did have a tie, and you will find out later on what I decided to go with. And it's not subjective, or it's not. I'm not. What's the word I'm looking for? I'm not just gonna pick the favorite, because there are some seeds on here that I did put as a little bit higher seeds that I don't really find that funny.
Right. When you were making this list, you thought of how the people view the movie, not how you see the movie. So if a lower seed ends up tying a higher seed, you might find the lower seed better that you want. You know what I mean? So
correct.
Yeah.
So
I think that makes a lot of sense.
All right. So the first matchup was Superbad versus Date Night. We had Superbad that advanced.
First, I mean, 2.9% of people voted for Date Night. I got questions for you. That should have been a 100 than nothing, unless you accidentally hit the wrong button.
We do have to remember Superbad is a guy comedy. As much as we love it, it is a guy comedy.
Okay.
I do think a lot of women appreciate it. But specifically, I agree with Date Night. Date Night's a good movie, but
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, but
right.
So Superbad advances, and then we have the 8 seed versus the 9 seed. This is 40 beats Euro Trip. Yep. So we have Superbad versus This Is 40. What are you thinking?
It's Superbad. To be honest, this might be a hot take. I don't think This Is 40 was that good.
Okay, I liked it a lot.
Okay.
I love everything Judd touches, Judd Apatow. So, And then we
Is
have
that the movie? Is that the movie? You know, I might be thinking of a different movie. Is that the movie with a whole bunch of little like skits throughout the whole thing, or am I thinking of something different? I think
No,
I might be
this is
thinking of
40.
something different.
This is 40 is kind of like a it's Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann, and they're basically the characters from Knocked Up, and it's like it's with the two kids, the two girls, and it's like them hitting the age of 40. Like it's a comedy about.
Okay, I think I might be thinking of something different, and I don't
Okay.
know what I'm going to be able to. I don't know
Just
if I'm
like-
going to be able to
just
find
like-
it, but
Okay,
I'll
Have
try.
you
I'll
ever seen
try.
that
But
movie? The
I
movie
don't
that
know
I
if
just
I
that I
don't.
just
Maybe I might have.
okay.
Hold on,
If
I'm
you
thinking
have or
something.
haven't, and you just haven't seen it, watch it. It's really good. It's really underrated.
Okay, I think I'm thinking of. Let me see if this is the right. I think I'm thinking of movie 43.
I don't even know what that is.
I this film features 14 different storylines, each by a different director, including Elizabeth Banks, Stephen Brill, Steve Carr. I think this is what I'm thinking of.
Okay.
It stars an ensemble cast that was led by Banks, Kristen Bell, Halle Berry, Gerard Butler, Seth MacFarlane, Leslie Bibb, Kate Bosworth, Josh Duhamel, Anna Faris. I think this is what I'm thinking of, and I didn't like this movie. So never mind. You know what? I don't remember this is 40, to be honest with you.
Watch it. It's
Okay, I
really
will.
good.
Okay.
It's basically just the characters of Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann from Superbad or Knocked Up.
Yep.
It's the sister.
Oh, so like a
it's-
spin-off of that.
Yeah, pretty much. The same
Oh,
characters.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Same character. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'll watch. I'm sure I watched it. I just don't really remember it.
Yeah, for sure.
But I love Superbad, so give me Superbad.
Or not. Okay. And then the next round we had American Pie 2 versus Bruce Almighty. American Pie 2 won. And then we
Makes
had
sense.
Borat, the 4 seed, versus Accepted, the 13 seed. And the upset, Accepted won.
Makes sense. I think Borat. I mean, we talked about it last week. I think Borat sucks.
No, I agree. Accepted. So it's American Pie 2 versus Accepted.
It's American Pie 2. I love Accepted, but it's American Pie 2 for me.
Okay. Dude, like my throat's all fucked up. I can't clear it.
Sorry, you got some water near you? You take a sip of water.
All right. So the next round we have the 6 seed versus the 11 seed. 6 seed couples retreat versus 11 seed funny people. Couples retreat wins. And then we had the 3 seed Pineapple Express versus the 14 seed Joe Dirt. Pineapple Express won. So
Joe
we
Dirt
have,
made a little bit of a run from what I
Yeah.
remember. It was closer
So we
than I
have couples-
thought it would be.
we have couples retreat versus Pineapple Express. I'll take my drink of water.
Yeah,
While you
take a drink of water because
dissect
I'm gonna have trouble picking a winner because I think both movies are great. Pineapple Express is like the typical like stoner, what's his name, James Franco movie, Seth Rogen movie. It's
So-
really funny. But Couples
so-
Retreat's good too.
So the Pineapple Express, I think, is a smidge overrated. I do like it from I haven't seen it in a really long time, but what I like about Pineapple Express is you don't have to be a stoner to like enjoy it.
Sure.
You know.
Like here's what I'm thinking. Am I picking the best movie or the movie that I think is the funniest?
So-
'Cause I think Pineapple Express is the funnier movie, but I think Couples Retreat is the better movie.
So okay. So the way that I view it is, if I'm watching TV and both are on TV, which one am I picking to watch? You know.
I think I pick Couples Retreat then.
Okay.
If that's the criteria, I think I pick.
That's
Couples
my
Retreat.
criteria.
Okay.
All right. So then we have where are we at here? The 7 seed Austin Powers in Goldmember versus the 10 seed Elf.
I didn't like
Elf
this
won.
outcome. I didn't like this. I didn't like this. The
Okay.
results there. I like Elf, but I just think Goldmember's funnier.
I think that people watch Elf more because of Christmas. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
think
but
that
people only
Elf-
watch it. People only watch it, 1 month out of the year or month and a half out of the year.
No. I hear you. But like, when's the last time you saw Austin Powers Goldmember?
It's at least 15 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people have
Sure,
Elf in their
yeah.
mind because
Totally.
they just watched it 4 months, 8 months, 6 months ago, whatever it was.
Totally.
All right, so Elf wins the 10 seed. That's an upset. Although I think that's, I don't think a 10 beating a 7 is necessarily an upset. But
Nah, it's not a
by
crazy
the
upset.
but by the
Yeah.
by the rule book, it is an upset. And then we had the 2 seed versus the 15 seed. The 2 seed Wedding Crashers beats the 15 seed Grandma's Boy. So we
it's-
have Elf versus
Yeah.
Wedding Crashers.
Yep. I
This
mean,
one should
but
be
it's-
easy.
It's
Yeah,
Wedding
yeah.
Crashers. Yeah. I mean, it's out. The comment out of this top left region, it should be Superbad, Wedding Crashers in the final game of that region. So yeah, give me Wedding Crashers there over Elf.
Okay, and then the next region, we have the 40-Year-Old Virgin against Tenacious D. The 40-Year-Old Virgin won, and then we had Trainwreck versus Role Models, the 8 versus the 9. We had Role Models win. So the 40-Year-Old Virgin versus Role Models.
I love both of these movies. I'll be honest. The committee, I think, underrated Role Models here. I think they're being disrespected as a 9 seed.
Okay, that's fair.
40-Year-Old Virgin's so good though. You know what? Nah, give me 40-Year-Old Virgin. I think it's so close, but 40-Year-Old Virgin I think is better. But I think Role Models is great. I think it's so fun.
Yeah. And then we have the 5 seed. We had another upset. The 5 seed Shaun of the Dead loses to the 12 seed Grown Ups.
It's a legit upset.
And then we have the 4 seed 21 Jump Street beating the 13 seed Dinner for Schmucks. So we have Grown Ups versus 21 Jump Street.
I again love both these movies. I like 21 Jump Street more. I think it's a funnier movie.
Okay. Agree.
You agree? You said?
Then the next, yep. Then the
Okay.
next, we have the 6 seed versus the 11 seed. This was the tie.
I'm curious.
It was
so yeah,
50-50.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I love you, man. I have, not that my say matters. I have a clear, not a clear winner, but I have somebody I'm thinking of. I'm curious where you go because again, my vote doesn't matter. So you have the floor here.
Based off of my parameters, where if I'm watching something, if I want to watch, like if it's on TV, if they're both on TV, I choose this movie because I've definitely done this before, where I've seen one of these movies a couple times and then I liked it a lot, but the other movie I've seen a bunch and I'm definitely like it's one of my favorites. I went with Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Okay, that's where I hoped you went.
Yeah,
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
I Love You Man is really good, but I think Sarah Marshall's definitely
it's so good,
a better movie.
Yeah, I mean Russell Brand is just so funny in it.
Yeah,
it's the perfect character.
I love Jason Segel.
He's good in it too.
Yeah,
because the whole like when self-deprecating.
When he dances naked. You know that's real. Like he really did that.
Yeah.
So
I think it wasn't it improvised. Like I don't think that happened. Like was that in the script?
So
I vaguely remember hearing that was improvised.
No. He wrote the whole script around that.
Okay.
So what really happened to him, his girlfriend was coming home and he's like, he knew it was over and like, but he was like, oh, you know, maybe we'll have sex one more time. And she came home and that's what he was doing. And that's how, and she broke up with him and that's how he came up with the whole idea of the movie.
Yeah.
So then, so Forgetting Sarah Marshall goes on. Talladega Nights versus Blades of Glory. We have a Will Ferrell matchup. Talladega Nights wins. So Forgetting Sarah Marshall versus Talladega Nights, the Ballad of Ricky Bobby.
I'm going to say this for a lot of them. I love both movies. I think I said that every matchup.
This is where it gets hard. It
does get hard.
It's really going to get hard.
It gets harder the deeper you get into that's what she said. The deeper you get into this this bracket here. But you know what? Give me Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Wow, over Talladega Nights?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a big one for you.
It is, and I love Talladega Nights, but I feel like Forgetting Sarah Marshall has more of a like I can watch it more. Like it's got a replay factor for it. Where like I'll never get tired of it. Whereas like Talladega Nights, the jokes are funny the first 1, 2, 3, 4 times, but I feel like I can't watch it every single time. Like I have to be in the mood to watch that.
Okay. All right. So the next matchup is Scary Movie, the 7 seed versus the 10 seed White Chicks. Scary Movie advances, and then we had the 2 seed Tropic Thunder versus the 15 seed Walk Hard. Tropic Thunder won. So we have Scary Movie versus Tropic Thunder in the next round.
I got Tropic Thunder.
Okay. So that's the next region, or that's the second region. The next region. Here we go. So we've got the shit.
You good? We're trying to go here.
No, we're good.
I have the list up.
Yeah. So now we have the 1 seed The Hangover versus the 16 seed Malibu's Most Wanted. I think Malibu's Most Wanted got absolutely manhandled. If I remember correctly?
Poll? I thought I had the poll up. Hold on. Which one? Malibu's Most Wanted and what was it?
The Hangover.
The Hangover, 95.7%
Yeah.
of The Hangover, 4.3 Malibu
That's
Most
like
Wanted.
that's like a 30-point win in college basketball.
Yeah, right.
Which is crushing. So yeah, The Hangover advances, and then we have the Breakup versus Horrible Bosses.
No, the
I'm
Breakup
sorry.
versus the other
I'm sorry.
guys.
The Breakup versus the other guys. Sorry. The other guys won. So we have The Hangover versus the other guys. What did you vote for? The Breakup
The
or
other guys.
other guys?
The other
Okay.
guys. Yeah, it's close. It's close. But yeah, I picked the other guys.
Okay.
I don't think it's close for this next matchup. The Hangover.
Okay. Then we have the 5 seed Horrible Bosses versus the 12 seed Get 'Em to the Greek. Horrible Bosses advances. That was a pretty big one too, wasn't it? That was a pretty big win.
I don't think so. Hold on, I could look at it here. 75% for Horrible Bosses.
Yeah. And then so Horrible Bosses advances. Then we've got Zoolander versus the 4 seed Zoolander versus the 13 seed 50-50. Zoolander won. So we have Horrible Bosses versus Zoolander.
Yeah, it's 50-50 didn't get enough love, I'll be honest. I voted for 50-50.
I agree. I agree.
And I think it lost like 79% to 21%.
Yeah. I would have went 50-50 too if I was able to vote.
That's where I went. So this next matchup you said was Horrible Bosses against Zoolander. This might be a hot take. I don't think Zoolander's all that great. Give me Horrible Bosses. I didn't love Zoolander.
That's where I would go too. And then we have the 6 seed Ted versus the 11 seed Napoleon Dynamite. Ted advances. Then we have the 3 seed Dodgeball versus the 14 seed Beer Fest. Dodgeball advances. So we have Ted versus Dodgeball.
I have another upset here. I
Okay.
like Ted. I think Ted's
Okay.
so good. It's
Okay.
so funny.
And then the last two matchups, the 7 seed Road Trip versus the 10 seed Zach and Miri Make a Porno. Road Trip won, and then you had the 2
One
seed Knocked
convincingly too.
Yeah.
I think.
The 2 seed Knocked Up versus the 15 seed Sausage Party. That is a Seth Rogen matchup. Knocked Up won, so you have Road Trip versus Knocked Up.
I like Knocked Up. Give me Knocked Up.
Okay.
I think Knocked Up's great. There's a reason it's a 2 seed, right? So
Yeah.
Knocked Up won with 88.5% of the vote.
Yeah.
Pretty convincing.
And then the last region, we have Step Brothers, the 1 seed beats the 16 seed Identity Thief. And then the 8 seed Meet the Parents beats the 9 seed Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
I was surprised that was as big of a route.
Yeah,
I thought it'd be closer.
me too.
Meet the Parents won 76% of the vote.
So Step Brothers versus Meet the Parents.
Is again, I'm on record saying I think Step Brothers is overrated, but it's still a good movie. I still would take that over Meet the Parents.
Okay. Then we have the 5 seed We're the Millers beating the 12 seed Fred Claus. And then we have the 4 seed Bridesmaids versus beating the 13 seed This Is the End. So we have We're the Millers versus Bridesmaids.
This one's, I think, really close.
Okay. I know what I go with if I vote, but
I'm torn. I think I lean We're the Millers,
okay.
but like Bridesmaids is like piss your pants funny. Like I think they're both really good.
Yeah.
But I think I lean We're the Millers.
That's what I go with. And then we have the 5 seed Hot Tub Time Machine versus the 11 seed 50 First Dates. This is another upset.
I think
50
it's
First Dates
6-11.
wins.
6-11, right?
Yep. Did I say 5?
You
Sorry.
said five, yeah.
And then we have the 3 seed Old School beating the 14 seed The Interview. So 50 First Dates versus Old School.
It's Old School for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 matchups, we have Just Friends, the 7 seed beating the 10 seed Four Christmases, and the 2 seed Anchorman beating the 14 or 15 seed Super Troopers. So it's Just Friends versus Anchorman.
I've never seen Just Friends.
Yeah.
I forgot to watch it.
Yeah.
I forgot to even look for it. I wanted to watch it before this week, but
Yeah.
Anchorman, just because I've never seen Just Friends.
I mean, Just Friends is not like hilariously funny. It's a good movie. Like I enjoy it. There are funny moments. They're fun. It's more like funny lines. I think that like I kind of say a lot with people. So yeah. So that's the next round.
Yeah. Okay, wait, a comment. I'm surprised Doug's not in the chat.
Yeah, I got some shit from him too last week.
Yeah, for putting Just Friends on it. He
Yeah.
wanted to shit on Just Friends, and I'm like, have you ever seen Just Friends? He's like, no. So then how can you shit on the movie if you've never seen it? It might be great. I can't shit on it. I've just never seen it.
He said, "How did you not put that movie? I think it's called like Waiting." And I said, "Doug, I don't even know what that is." He's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's like the greatest like comedy ever made." And I'm like, I've never even heard of it. Like how's gonna be on the top 64?
So,
I've never even heard of it.
Doug
It's the same. It's the same people. It's Ryan Reynolds
Yeah.
and Anna Faris.
Okay. Here's a little hint about friend of the show, Doug. Is he likes really stupid fucking movies?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like really stupid movies.
He's like you should watch it, and I said I'll pass.
So I've had conversations. I think I talked with him about this exact list, and he loves Borat. He thinks Borat's great. He thinks Napoleon Dynamite's great. I'm like,
I think Napoleon Dynamite's really good too, though.
I think it's okay. I don't know, but like he just likes dumb comedies, not funny comedy. He dumb comedies.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong. Like my wife pointed this out, where like a lot of them are very different comedies that are going against each other. Like
Sure.
like Borat. That's a good example. Like they're two very different style comedies. It's just a matter of like, and don't get me wrong. I love all those kind of comedies. I love stupid comedy. I love serious comedy. I love dark comedy. I
Yeah.
like real life situation. Like kind of like Knocked Up. Like Knocked Up's a real life situation, but there are so many funny lines in it. I think it's a super
great.
underrated movie.
It's
But,
a girl. Buy some pink shit.
Yeah,
Great. It's a great line.
that's what I posted when we announced.
I
We Were
think
Having a Girl.
I think I did as well.
Yeah, yeah. So
Classic one.
dude, when he shows up to the house when she's like in the tub, do you remember that part? Like she's in
Yeah.
the tub
Yep.
and she's like getting ready to go into birth or going into labor. He walks in and she goes, "You got to call the doctor." So he calls the doctor, and the doctor's in like San Francisco for bar mitzvah. He's on the phone. He leaves a message. He said, "Now I'm gonna have to pop a cap in your ass." He's like, "You're fucking Tupac. You're fucking Biggie. You're fucking dead." He's like, "I hope you drop that kid on the chair. You fucking asshole." It's like one of my favorites.
And it's like it's like a whisper yell too.
Yeah,
'Cause he's trying to stay calm.
You're
not trying
fucking
to yell.
Biggie. You're fucking Tupac. I hope you drop that fucking kid.
It's a great movie. I mean, it's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's the end of the list.
That's
right?
the end of the list. Yep.
Speaking
So
of
we're gonna start again tomorrow.
Okay, I like that. Speaking of Tupac and Biggie, what a transition there. What a transition.
It's still the greatest diss of all time is Tupac, even after
Sure.
what we're getting ready to talk about. Hit
Yeah,
him
I
up
mean,
is probably the greatest.
I'm sure
thing I've ever
I'm sure anybody listening probably doesn't give a shit about this Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, but I'm fascinated by it.
Yeah.
And like I'm not a Drake guy, so like I've kind of loved everything that Kendrick has said, but it's just entertaining. You just can't help it. Like, anytime something new comes out, your ears are glued right to it.
The interesting thing for me is I love both. I'm a fan of both. I probably lean a little bit towards Kendrick, but I'm a big fan of both. So it's a lot of fun to kind of see, being on like both, not both sides, but like both guys a lot, and like
Sure.
kind of just see them go back and forth. Forth is a lot
Right,
of fun.
because you're looking at it from a side where like you don't want to pick a side, right? You're not
Yeah.
like rooting for one. You just want to see the competition. Although I
For
think it's
sure.
gotten past competition at this point, and it's getting incredibly personal.
A bit. For sure.
Yeah.
So I realized that today, like around the point of like, I think it was like Family Matters when like Drake released Family Matters. Like I think that's when it like kind of really got to the point of like, okay, this is no more than like, it's no more of just like these two guys like having a friendly, not friendly, but like a healthy
A sparring
battle,
match, basically. Yeah.
And it got really personal when like names were dropped, like family members, being accused of being a pedo, like,
And not just once, like multiple times.
yes,
He's throwing that out there.
and then Drake accusing Kendrick of, assaulting his fiance, like, and then Drake also saying like basically like his kids are not his kids because she's with another guy. Like it's really like the whole Tupac and Biggie thing is like Tupac is just coming out and saying like I'll shoot you, like that's really like all he says in Hit 'Em Up, like fuck you, fuck your bitch, and like I'm gonna shoot you, like that's what's gonna happen, like fuck you guys, like that's really all it is. This is
It was all
I hate you.
competition. Yeah.
This is I
much
hate you. I
deeper
want you
than that.
dead. I want
Yeah.
you dead. You're a pedo. Like you beat your wife or you beat your fiance. Like we got even to into sexual assault. Like this is crazy.
Yeah, he basically called him dead. Like he's saying your next one to your house is gonna get raided too soon.
Yeah.
Like it's getting to another level. But hey, I'm all for it. It's all entertaining
for sure.
to me.
And it's fun because it's not like the like the club sound kind of like it's these, or it's not the hit sound. Like these guys aren't writing like a lot of I would say these guys are so used to making hits, right? Like they can make hits that are played in the club, played on the radio, played for the normal person.
Yeah. I was a Drake
This
more
is-
than
this
Kendrick,
is-
but yeah,
For
I
sure.
agree.
But this is much more of seeing guys sit down, whether they have ghostwriters or not, because that's another topic in the battle.
I'm sure Drake does, but
I'm sure everybody does though.
not everybody.
Most people, absolutely most people. Like even
But not in a battle though. You don't do that in a battle.
no, but I don't know. I don't
It's
know
your
if you could
ability
sit
against
here-
the other guy's ability.
For sure. But I just mean in general,
Sure.
because I think Kendrick accused him just in general of having ghost. Like that's always been a thing
Did you
with
hear the
Drake.
story of this of the song that Eminem worked with Kendrick on?
I did not.
They had one or two songs together, but one of the songs they had together, Eminem invited Kendrick out to the studio to work on the song, and Kendrick literally told everybody in his posse to leave, go away, go home for the day, because he
I think
wanted
I did hear
proof.
this. Yeah.
He wanted proof that Kendrick didn't have any ghostwriters. He wrote his own shit, and he did the whole song, banged it out there with nobody else in the room.
Yeah, and I think Kendrick, I think he's the most talented. I think he's the best right now. Of new, discounting Eminem and Jay-Z and the guys that have been around for 25 years.
Sure.
I think he's the best of the rappers of the last 15 years.
I think that's fair.
And I just like the double and triple entendres and the idea that, dude, there was a guy, there was a line in one of the songs where the A minor, basically like you strum the chord A minor.
Yeah.
What does he say?
I'm trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor. I think was the exact
Which
line.
is Kendrick saying to Drake, basically in music, A minor is a chord, right?
Sure. Yeah. Right.
But he's also using it as Drake, accusing him of pedophilia.
Being
And
with A minor. Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this. I saw somebody break this down today. He later on in a different song, one of the other songs, after that, he says something about a B sharp, and in the one song he goes from an A minor, the piano chords go from an A minor to a B sharp, and it later on it it's crazy how this shit
Yeah.
happens. Like it's not just I'm gonna write that you're a pedo, but he also does this shit where and the 616 in LA, that's the one song for Kendrick. There's a ton. I forget what they were, but I saw a video today of somebody breaking it down. 616 is this to Drake and that to Drake and this
I'm
to
sure it's
Kendrick.
and I'm sure
It's-
there's
it's wild.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's little tiny digs that nobody else would know except those two guys.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
right.
But
So-
if
But the internet's
Of course,
people break
sure.
this shit down.
of course, and the crazy thing, not the craziest thing, but where does J. Cole fit in all this? Maybe he knew all this was coming, and he's like, guys,
So-
I'm getting the fuck out of this.
There's a rumor going around right now that are you familiar with Kendrick before he became on his big label
Not
Black Hippie?
not much. No.
Okay, so it was him and 3 or 4 other guys from Compton, from LA. Basically it's him, Schoolboy Q,
Okay.
J
I
Rock,
know that. Okay.
and 1 or 2 other guys, and so they're really good friends with Kendrick, and I think they Mustard, the producer Mustard
Yep.
on the beat.
Mhm.
He is also from Compton. He did one of the songs with Kendrick. I forget which one it was, but anyway, they're all from Compton. They all came up together, and Schoolboy Q is a good friend with J. Cole, and basically the rumor is Schoolboy Q hit up J. Cole and was like, "Yo,
Sit this one out.
yeah. Just sit back."
Yeah. Yeah,
And
'cause, I mean,
J. Cole kind of was like, maybe you're right.
yeah. No, I don't. I think he did it in a weird way of just like dipping out and apologizing and like all he had to do was put that song out and not say a single word about it ever again. And I think he gets out of it pretty easy. But
Yeah, mostly because I think Kendrick likes J. Cole as a person.
That was supposed to be friendly competition. Just
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Where this
And
we've talked about it. This is
where-
going past that.
Right, where dude, this is like a whole history. Like I watched like a 5-minute video today of this guy like breaking down about how like nobody in the industry really likes Drake like at all.
I believe that 100%.
He has beef. He has beef with everybody, over women, over all silly stuff. So I definitely do think that like so Kendrick there's a song called Control, and he basically calls out every rapper, and every rapper was cool with it.
In a competitive way.
In a playful, competitive way. And Drake apparently was the only one that took offense to it, and he got out.
Dog's pissing me off, by the way.
Yeah. We can just ignore him.
It's our show. We'll talk about what we want.
Go watch Just Friends.
Yeah.
So Kendrick has the song playful, fun kind of competition, and Drake's the only one that kind of takes this to it. So did
he mention Drake by name on that song? I don't remember. That song's fairly old.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
Because he mentioned a bunch of people in it. I do remember.
Yeah, basically everybody.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's like playing quarterback in the NFL. Like you have to think you're the best, right? Like you don't go into a season saying we're gonna only win 3 games.
Right.
You have to think you're the best. So like, I do think J. Cole, if he were to the way he responded, and if he were to just not just keep it up there, I do think Kendrick would just be like, okay, there you go, you had your response, now we're cool. Like,
right.
But I think it's very personal with Drake.
100%. But.
I'm gonna send you that 5-minute video about the guy that breaks down like
yeah,
in the
send
industry.
it to me because I'm fascinated. All weekend I've been watching videos about this, and I'm curious where the next one comes in.
Really quick before we get into sports, you know what I think is funny? So Drake puts out a song about how he fools Kendrick, right?
Which I don't buy.
Whether you buy it or not.
Okay.
Let's just say you had to make something up to have something to talk about, right?
Right.
That to me, that's lame.
It is lame, but that's Drake's thing. I think he's incredibly lame.
That's fair.
He's just a corny dude.
I think you have to take Drake for what he is. I think he's a really good pop star. I think he's got really good fun songs.
he I don't know if claims is the right word, but he hangs around as if he's a hip hop artist, and he's not.
No, he is a hip hop artist. No, he is a rapper too, but he's also a pop star.
He's a pop star, yeah.
But you could be all the above. It's the same thing like I just said. You don't see any quarterbacks come in here and say I'm going to be the 8th best quarterback in the league this year. Like, you have to claim that stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. You're talking pop star. Like it's different being in the hip hop scene when you're a pop star. I don't know.
He's in both. He absolutely is in both.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think he has the respect of the people in the hip hop community.
It's not about having respect musically. People just don't like him.
Okay.
Like at least from the video that I watched, like people have respect for him. He's put a lot of people on. Like it's not
sure.
I just think people don't like him personally.
And got a lot of people off. Hiyo. Bad joke. Yeah, I'm curious where the next shoe to drop is, but all right, we're like over 30 minutes into the show. We haven't talked sports yet, so
not once.
Who cares, honestly?
Yeah,
I don't care what Doug has to say.
This is our fucking train, and we'll conduct it the way we want, bitch.
Doug says the new Missy Elliott single is fire. Does Missy Elliott even have a single? Is she still doing shit?
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, where do we want to go? So, I mean, let's talk a little Sixers, right? I mean, there isn't a whole lot there. Yeah, they lost, and I feel like we kind of all expected it. We said, we came on the show last week. Are the Sixers dead? They managed to win one, and then they died. I guess one was a season of failure. Number 2, if the answer to that is yes, who's to blame? Where do you put the blame?
So I don't know the answer to that question. I guess it really just depends on the way you view it. Like over the last 7 years, yes, it's a failure because they haven't made it past the second round. Like it's a shame that our thought process is like not even to win a championship or even make it to the finals. it's to make it to the round before that.
Yeah.
On that scale, yes, that's what makes it a failure to a certain degree. Obviously, Joel Embiid being here for almost 10 years now. He's the guy. It's yes, in that sense. But I think I even said on the show a couple weeks ago where it's like, if they lose in the first round and Joel looks great and Maxey looks great and they're missing that third guy, then I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay, but like I'm looking forward to this summer more than anything. Like I think this is gonna be the biggest summer in the Joel era in this tenure.
But can you say that? And I know they both looked good at times, but they never put it fully together.
Well, I think that's not just on them. Look at the best teams in the league right now. Like look at Boston, look at Denver, look at Minnesota. Those are probably the 3 favorites to win. They're so deep, and they have 3 guys on the court. 3, really 4 if you really count those 3 teams. Like 4 guys that really like put up real numbers, where the Sixers have 2. And like, I said this I think on the show last week. Like if Tobias Harris comes out and puts up his average, they sweep the Knicks in my opinion. Like
yeah, how much do you put on Nick Nurse? And maybe not overall, because I mean he is. I think we can both acknowledge he's a great coach. But like you look at, was it Game 6? You finally give Buddy Hield some time, and Buddy Hield's not the end all be all. He's not a great player. You're not going to win or lose a championship because of Buddy Hield. But
sure.
But he comes, finally gets some playing time. I think he scores like 17 in the second quarter or something. And it's like, why couldn't he see the floor much before that? You know what I mean? Like those sort of decisions,
for sure,
I think affected the outcome.
I don't know that necessarily affected the outcome because look at when they traded for him, right? Sorry, my fucking throat's
No, you're good.
Look at when they traded for him, right? He comes in, looks great. 2 weeks go by. 2 weeks go by. Sorry. I had to mute myself.
You're
2
fine.
weeks go by. 2 weeks go by. He looks okay, and then like another 2 or 3 weeks go by, and it's like, he's coming off the bench now. Another 2 weeks go by.
But at that point,
I don't even know if he can get playoff time. Like
yeah, but you didn't really see him with Joel because Joel was hurt at that point.
Right, but the last 8 games of the season that Joel did play, or the 6 games, whatever it was, Buddy was horrible.
Right.
So, I think that kind of played a role. I mean, it kind of sucks that he came in late and he puts up the 17 and they don't play him in the fourth quarter. Like it's yes, I think some of it is on Nick Nurse. But I do think that they like Nurse kind of adjusted. Look at the Miami game before they played the Knicks. Like Miami was really like, trapping them, playing zone and trapping them, and he was able to have his team adjust. And again, your guys have to hit the shots. It's not like but he did absolutely everything he could to get his team ready. So and they did that a couple times in the Knicks series. Especially in Game 6, where they were down 33-11 in the first quarter. Like, and they come back and they win and they hit big shots, and he has something to do with that. And was he great? No, but like he was probably the 3rd or 4th reason I think they lose this series. He's not.
I agree. I just I look at the Buddy Hield 17 points in the second quarter, not playing in the fourth, and then that same exact game, Tobias Harris has a goose egg. Doesn't have a single point.
But he also took 2 shots, which again is a problem in itself. Right. I don't think Tobias Harris is the reason they lost Game 2. I'm not saying he's the biggest reason they lost Game 6, personally, because if you think about it like this, right? Like let's say he takes 16 shots or 14 shots, Tobias. Let's say he goes 0 for 14 or 0 for 16 or 8 for 16 or 8 for 14. You're taking points away from Buddy Hield. You're taking points away from Payne. Sure. So like realistically, they're probably kind of where they're at, right? Like I think Maxey had a horrible Game 6. I do. I understand like he was on the stat sheet everywhere else. That's great. But you're the second guy. You have to put up points to win the game. Like that's how you win a game. Like that's how you win in the playoffs.
Yep.
So yeah, I put a little bit more blame on Max in Game 6. But again, you can't I don't think you can ask your stars to put in a full 7 games of 4 rounds of 7, a best of 7.
When one guy goes down, you need another guy to step up.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
If Joel and Maxey look good for 4 of the 7 games or 5 of the 7 games, great. That's what you need. And I think they had enough to do that again, but it's just that third guy that they lacked. And
and
I think the biggest thing is Daryl Morey. Like Morey's the biggest reason why they lost in the playoffs because their bench sucked, and their lineup outside of Maxey and Embiid, like it was bad.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelly Oubre I think played well in this playoff run.
Yeah,
He
but
did exactly what he was supposed to do.
Exactly. Yeah. What are you expecting out of Oubre? Like,
Right. So I'll take 17 out of him, in Game 6.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think he shot 50% from the field, which is really good. So
yeah.
It's
just a matter of what next. I mean, at this
there's a lot of options.
There's a lot of options, but I
don't love all of them. But
you're not moving on from Embiid. Obviously, Maxey I think is soon the new face of the franchise. Like,
yeah, he'll get the max deal.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, and he should honestly. Like, I believe that he's getting to the next level, and I think I think he really can be maybe not like a superstar, but damn close to it.
So, my thing with Maxey, I think he's still too young physically.
Sure.
So,
but I think he's grown, and he has room to grow.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying, but it's win now mode. Like you don't see guys take over and win championships until they're 27, 28, right? Like Michael Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. Or Kobe was younger, but I'm talking about the second, the second run of championships for Kobe.
And what is he?
Into your late
26?
No, Maxey's 23.
He's that young.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's win now mode for Joel, who's 30.
Sure, but you're not going to move on from Maxey.
No. Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Joel's 30. Maxey is going to be 23 next year. I think it is. Or I think he'll be 23 next year. I think this is age 22 season.
That's crazy.
He'll be 23, 24, whatever he is. I don't think he's there physically to say, "Hey,
no,
man."
He's sorry to cut you off. He's 23 now. He'll be 24 in November.
Okay, so he'll go into his age 24 season.
Yeah.
So I just don't think he's there physically to say, "Here, Maxey, here's 4 rounds of 7-game series that we need you." I think he's going to have to play a big part. I think he's going to have to hit shots, which he did. But I just think you need to get another guy who's a little bit older. When I say older, I mean 26, 27 plus. A guy that can take on the physicality of the playoffs and be the number 2 in the physicality department. I don't think Maxey is there yet physically, and that's not his fault. He's 24, 23. So you're not the same physically at 27, 28, 29 that you are at 22, 23, 24.
Sure.
So I think he's got it. I think he's great. I think he's a really good player. I think he's a great player. I think he's in that next tier now. I think he can be a guy that averages 25 plus every year. But when the playoffs come, I'm just not confident that if he's not hitting his shots, he's not going to be able to do anything. He's not going to be able to get to the rim. He's not going to be able to get fouls. He's not going to be we've seen that already. And I just think they need to find a third guy to replace that.
You're not confident that he can't do that now, or that he's never going to be able to do that?
Right now.
Okay.
At 28, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sure. All right.
So yeah. I think they need to find a third guy that can sometimes be the 2, that could mostly be the 3, that can, hey guys, all right, it's game 5, or let's say game 6, and we're down 3-2, we're up 3-2. Joel's just not having his game. Maxey just isn't having his game. I need to take over this one game. They need to find that guy.
Right.
I know the perfect guy, but I don't know what his price tag is going to be, and I don't know if they have enough to get him.
Durant?
I do know that the team that has him is willing to trade him for the right price, but they're not openly looking to trade him. They view him as the star, and he's just not that. He's a really great number 3 on a team.
Okay.
And a lot of people are probably not going to be happy when I say that he's a number 3, not a superstar. It's Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is the perfect guy for this team because he's a wing. He's a bigger body. He plays both ends. He'll average 21 here, 22, 20, 21, 20, somewhere between 20 and 22. He'll average 20 to 22 points here as a third guy. He'll lock down the other, and I'll say lock down the other guy. He'll hit threes. He is the perfect guy for this team. but it's not going to be easy to get a guy like that. So
Right.
and they view him as the superstar, and he's just not a number one. He's like a low end number two. Maybe on some teams he could be a number two and win a championship, but if he's a number three on a team, like, and he commits to that, and I'd even overpay for him if I had to.
Isn't he from here, or am I thinking of somebody else?
Yeah. No,
He's local,
from,
right?
Yeah, he's from the area. His mom worked. I don't know if she still does, but when he was drafted here, she worked for the Sixers. He went to Nova.
Okay, that's okay. That makes sense.
They drafted him 10th overall, I think it was, and then the same night they traded him.
What
to
was
Phoenix.
that? For who?
Zaire Smith.
I mean, I don't know who it is.
Right. That's right. Exactly. He was the Kawhi Leonard of that draft, and they moved. So they drafted Bridges at 10. Dude, he does his interviews like, I'm so happy to go home. Like, I get to play at home. You know, my mom works for the organization. An hour and a half later, they moved back to like pick 19 for that pick, and they drafted Zaire Smith and got like an extra couple picks or something. And he's played maybe like 3 career games for the Sixers, or in the NBA. Really, he went to Texas Tech, I think it was, or one of those like smaller basketball schools. He was a center in high school because his high school he didn't play like great high school basketball. He was 6'4" as a center in high school.
Who was the GM at the time that made that deal? I wasn't more.
That was Brett Brown was like the interim GM that summer.
Or who was the old player that was a GM? Who was that?
Elton Brand? No, not
Elton
yet.
Brand. It wasn't.
No,
it was
they
before that?
held
Okay.
they hired Brand, I think, right after that,
Okay.
because Brett Brown was like the interim GM for like the summer.
After Colangelo.
Yes, I believe
Okay.
so. I believe it was Colangelo. Then they got rid of him 2018. Brett Brown was the interim GM that summer, and then in that following season they hired Elton Brand.
Well, if you're having Brett Brown make general manager decisions, you kind of got it coming to you.
And guess what? Like, I don't think he'd be terrible at that, but like then I used to say that, like, I don't think he'd be terrible at that, and then he made that move. And it's like,
Right. Right. Exactly.
I think Brett Brown's a really good guy. I think he really knows
great guy.
basketball. I think
I
he
think
really knows.
I think he's put in a very shitty position.
Well, that was the whole point. You know,
Yeah. Right.
They
Exactly,
needed
yeah.
somebody. The thing with Brett Brown was they looked at him and they said, "All right, this is a Popovich like disciple. You know, we can have him sit here for the bad years, and then if it doesn't work out, we can just fire him. But if it does work out, like, we're geniuses, kind of.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the way it kind of played out. Was, you know, he just, maybe we found somebody, and then it just, great guy. I think he's a good basketball mind. I think he's a good assistant coach. I think he could work in the front office. I do, even with that blunder, because every great GM has a bad. You know.
Sure, it's
I just don't like him.
committed. They just committed to losing for a decade.
Yeah,
So,
I think it was just like the whole Kawhi thing, because he was in San Antonio with Kawhi, and he saw that Kawhi was like a 15th overall pick, and a guy that just wasn't athletic, you know, just wasn't seen as an athletic guy, kind of came out of nowhere, and he kind of saw that in Zaire Smith and was like, I got to hit on it twice, and he didn't realize that Kawhi Leonard's Kawhi Leonard. Like, you know,
Right,
there's only one Kawhi Leonard in the world, and
Yep.
that only happens every so often. So
Yeah.
yeah, I the whole Jimmy Butler thing too. Like, did you see that?
What about it? I feel like we always hear Jimmy Butler's name like every year.
So there are rumors this offseason that the Heat want to part ways with Jimmy Butler because Jimmy Butler does what Jimmy Butler wants to do, and the Heat are a very great organization where, like,
sure.
they do things the Miami Heat way, right? Like, they do it as an organization together, and
Sure.
like, Jimmy just kind of does his own thing. And we've seen that in his career.
Yeah.
So-
If they were to get him, would that be a problem?
Would what be a problem?
Like, would him, Maxey, and Embiid clash because Embiid wants to do things his way?
No, because I think Jimmy.
I'm sorry, because Butler wants to do things his way. is what
No,
I'm
I think they're best friends. I think
Okay.
that Jimmy wants to play with Joel. Like,
Yeah, I
I think
can see that.
I think them two are like, they're the perfect guy for each other. I'm not saying I want Jimmy. I'm not saying they should go get Jimmy. I'm just saying
They're a better team with them than they are right now. I think.
here's the problem with Jimmy. So let me go back. So the Heat. There are rumors that the Heat want to get rid of Jimmy because of that reason. And then did you see him like tweet all that stuff
No.
about Boston? He was like, if I'm
No.
playing, like we beat Boston. And I'm paraphrasing, but like he tweeted like, if I'm playing like Boston's
see some
done.
of this. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he got hurt. He hurt his leg or something.
Right.
Or
So-
knee
so-
or something. Yeah.
Yeah, he was out. He's gonna be out like a couple weeks. So
Yeah.
he had said like when I don't know if you remember last year when Boston was down 3-0, they made it 3-1, and Jaylen Brown came off and said, "Don't let us get one," or something like that.
Yeah.
And it went to 7 games, and Miami wound up winning, obviously, but he was like coming up, he was like tweeting that and like all this stuff, and like Pat Riley, the president, I believe, of the Miami Heat, basically said like, if and this was like today or yesterday, he said, if you're not on the court, you shouldn't talk.
Yeah, I heard that.
Which he has a fucking point.
I was gonna say I kind of don't blame him.
So
I kind of get where he's coming from.
I think Jimmy's interesting because I think he's, again, exactly what they need, a hard effort. What they lack really what they've lacked in Embiid's tenure is effort. I'm not saying it's Embiid's fault. I'm just saying, during these playoff runs, really, we've seen a lot of effort be a lack of effort. So I think he would help there, Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy obviously comes up in big games, although I think his playoff stats are overrated because he's only ever done it in Miami with arguably a top 5 greatest coach of all time in Eric Spoelstra. If you look at his playoff numbers, like they're very mid. So
to be honest, I don't think any of this works unless Embiid's healthy in the playoffs. Like they would never do this, but like sit him till February. Just don't even play him till February.
But again, I'm going to go back to my point what we talked about last week. He's not as hurt as you think he is in the playoffs. He misses maybe the first round, and he always win the first round. Like
but he's never. It seems like he's not 100% ever. Like he plays, but his body's broken down.
Yeah, I don't know that you can definitely say that though. Like with his, obviously this is his best performance, right? Like this past season, averaged 33, 12, and almost 12, and whatever it was. But like, and he was 70%. Like I understand.
Yeah, but
what
in
you're
the playoffs
saying.
he was gassed. There's nothing left.
Right, but it's not his fault. It's because they don't have a third guy to rely on, like Boston, like Denver, like Minnesota. He's gonna play those men. Whoever they go out and get as a third guy, whether it's Jimmy Butler or Bridges or me, like he's gonna play the same amount of minutes. He's gonna average between 30 and 42 minutes in the playoffs. It's just a matter of having to take so many shots, having to be in so many plays, having to do so much. Right? Like he's just not gonna have to do as much with a guy that's able to hit shots, another guy that's able to hit shots and be able to do things. So that's why he's gassed. It's not because he's out of shape or not healthy or this. It's because he's playing a lot of minutes and having to do so much. And granted, yes, some of it is probably because he's not 100%. But like, it's the fact that like he's got to do so much in that 48 minutes or 40. I think he averaged 41 minutes in this this playoff series. So like, he's got to do so much in those 41 minutes because if Maxi's not having a good game, who the hell else is going to show up? Because it's not going to be Tobias.
No.
So it's not going to be Kyle Lowry. Like, so somebody's got to do something, and that's the part that kind of gasses him, for me at least. It's not so much the being unhealthy, because you just saw him average 33 at 70%. Like, that's sick.
Well, just wait till they re-sign Tobias to some, deal.
That's not going to happen.
I don't think it will. I think, didn't Maury talk about Tobias today or something?
Yeah. What's he supposed to say, though? Like,
sure, right.
Like,
yeah.
No.
He's not going to trash him out the door. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, if that happens, I'm out. If they say, yo, Tobias, here's 3 years, like $60 million, I'm out. I'll never watch again until Tobias is off this team. I will never. I'm not. Dude, I book it like or book this.
You heard
like,
it here
bookmark
first.
it. Bookmark it. Like it.
I'll clip this. I'll clip this.
I will
along
never
with when
watch
they,
again.
I will clip this, and then when they sign him and he plays the first game, and you're talking about how you're in September, then
Absolutely
I'll
not.
put
When's the last
I'll
time
put
I was
all
in
together.
September?
You hardly anymore. You're not. Maybe like 2-3 years ago. I feel maybe
Right. When we first started the show, I was in
Right.
September.
Yeah.
But the last 2 seasons, man.
But when we first started
you
the
gotta
show,
show me.
When you first started the show, you had Ben Simmons, who was
Oh, like you didn't blow him either.
Oh, I definitely did.
Right.
We all did.
We went from loving the guy in the Washington series, thinking he's a superstar. How do people dislike him? To a week and a half later saying we got to trade this guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just Philly, but like,
It is Philly, but he also kind of deserved it.
yeah.
But
So,
all right,
yeah.
We can move on because it sounds like pretty soon you're not gonna have a voice.
Yeah.
So it really isn't a whole lot to talk about Phillies wise. They're beating shit teams, but you play who's on your schedule. They're winning games.
That's all
I
that
mean,
matters.
I saw on Twitter or X or whatever. Do people just say X? I feel like you always have to
No,
mention Twitter.
I've never heard it called X in my life.
Right, and even
Like,
when you do
people
call it
refer to it
X,
as
people
Twitter.
say it as Twitter/X. Like
Yeah.
nobody just says X. But I saw on Twitter, I saw a lot of people like, the Phillies are 2.5, 3 games up in the division. It's like you cannot watch the division race in fucking May.
I
in the
think
beginning
I
of
think
May.
it's encouraging. I think it's
It's sure it's encouraging.
I think because
But every
especially-
game, it's gonna drive
I
you nuts
understand.
all season.
I especially think it's big because baseball's such a mental game, and I think that the guys know that they're in first place, and I think that
Sure, and the
they-
last
they're
couple of
gonna play harder.
seasons, they struggled out of the gate, so it's encouraging that
right
they're playing
right.
well out of the gate.
And I don't
A
care
great-
who they're playing. I don't
Right,
care who
sure.
they're playing. That's the key part. Is like last year and the year before, it was like they weren't good until June.
Right,
So what if they could do this and then also
and again, it's
get
not
that hot
sure.
stretch in June?
Well, I mean, you would hope, but the difference is the last couple of years they were playing good teams early, and they would play the bad teams hit the second half of the year or the middle of the season, and they would go on runs. And you hope it's not the reverse this year, where once they start playing the good teams, they start to fall a little bit. You
Sure.
hope that's not the case. But the thing I'm encouraged about is that they're not just lucking their way into these wins. They're fucking crushing the
Yeah.
cover off the ball, and their pitching, other than
Pitching
the bullpen,
really well.
is fucking dominant. And the bullpen, honestly, other than Dominguez and like Soto, the bullpen's been pretty good. Alvarado's been good. Hoffman's been great so far. I think Strom's is okay. Like all around, I think every part of their game has been great.
I agree. Soto looked good last night.
Yep. He a little shaky early.
Yeah,
I was
but
at the
that
game.
happens.
Two walks, but he got out of it.
He had one walk.
Was it one? And then one,
Yeah.
he had a runner on first and second, the first two batters. I forget exactly what happened.
He came
it a
in
walk
with a
and then a
walk, I
single?
think.
Did he? Is that what it was?
I believe so. Yeah, because Walker only pitched 6 and a third.
Okay.
He had a walk, and then Soto came in and
That's what
walked the
it was.
guy.
Okay.
But he got out of it.
He got out
No
of it.
earned
Yeah, he did.
runs.
Yep.
No hits. I think Soto's been better than you think he has been.
His ERA is like a 6 something, isn't it?
Yeah, but like bullpen guys, like it's gonna take them fucking 3 months.
Especially this
to
early
get
in the
down.
season.
Yeah, it's gonna take them. Look at Alvarado has like a 5 ERA. Like
I think it's 4 point something. Yeah.
yeah, like it's and he's been lights out like since the Atlanta series.
Yeah.
So it's gonna take them a while to get that ERA down, but I'm encouraged. I think this even Walker hasn't looked horrible. I mean,
The first
yesterday
game,
wasn't- yeah.
The
Or
first
that's what I
game was
meant.
shaky. The first
Yeah.
game was shit. Well, the first game he pitched good for like the first 5-6 innings. I think he got left in there a little too long.
I think you could say that about last night a little bit too.
Sure.
I mean, 7 innings in both games. I think that's his limit. Is like the 6th inning.
Yeah.
I don't love the fact that his first 2 games back, and yes, he probably had rehab starts. But I just don't love that the first 2 games back are 7 innings, both of them. I would probably wait a little bit longer to let him go that long, but
So the one guy
We're
I think
here.
we need to give the flowers to is somebody who I'm not going to say you hated on this player, but I don't think you necessarily love this player. But we're seeing the next step out of Alec Bohm. Like, he's
So-
been fucking great.
I don't. Here's the thing with Alec Bohm. I don't dislike him. I don't hate him. I
You don't
don't.
think he had enough pop?
I still don't.
Okay. I
still
mean, he only
don't.
has, I think, 4 home runs. So he
Yeah,
hasn't been
it's early.
great,
It's early.
but
We're 6 weeks into the
he's
season.
batting like 350 or something. He's batting
it was
unreal.
360 before today. He was the second best in the majors. Did he? I don't think he got a hit today. Did he?
I don't know. I didn't follow much
No.
of the game.
Yeah. So the 18-game hitting streak is over. I'm so happy. No. No. I do like Alec. I do. I like
been
the
great.
idea that if he's not gonna have pop if he's not going to pull the ball in the left field for home runs, to hit the ball all over the field. I don't dislike Bowman. I think he's gotten so much better defensively.
100%.
I just think he's like truly, and again, he had a really good year last year. Like what did he hit 20 and 97 last year? Hit 280, I think it was, or 270 something. That's a solid year. It is. It's a solid year. But every other year in his career, I only have so much to look from it, right? Like, I can't just look at last year and be like, yeah, he's going to be a great player. Like, and we're 6 weeks into the season.
Sure.
I understand. There's a whole rest of the season to go.
Sure.
Definitely. All I'm saying is he's a little bit above average third baseman to me. He's not in the conversation with Jose Ramirez. He's not in the conversation with Rafael Devers. He's not in the conversation with Nolan Arenado.
So
He's
your
not
problem,
in that
hold on.
conversation.
So your problem isn't Alec Bohm the player. It's you don't think he's a good third baseman.
No. I think
you'd rather put him somewhere else.
No. My problem with Alec Bohm is that everybody tells me he's like those guys. He's like Jose Ramirez. He's a top third baseman. He's this great player.
No,
he's
not.
Is
it unreasonable to think he's maybe the tier below that, and that he's not?
That's what I'm saying.
Tiers below it.
He's a little bit above average.
Well, those guys are elite. A little bit. I think there's a bigger gap between a little bit above average and
okay. What
elite
tier is
third
he in
baseman. Say the guys say the elite class is the top three or four the top three or four third basemen.
Okay.
Is it safe to say he's maybe the fifth or sixth best third baseman in baseball? Is that unfair?
Looking at his whole career, I don't think so. I don't.
Sure, but he's 27 years old. Like,
right.
is there a chance this is who he is?
What? Like, what he's doing right now?
I'm not going to say 360 is who he is because
sure,
not many people go 360 through a whole year. Like,
sure.
I don't really expect that. But is it fair to say the 270, 280 he batted last year? Maybe meet him in the middle of the 350. Maybe he is a 300 hitter. Maybe
he is. All I'm saying is I'm not going to say he's that guy until he does it consistently. That's all I'm saying. I think he's an above average third baseman. I do. I think there's 1,000 guys that play defense like him in the world or in the majors, in the minors, everywhere.
But you have to admit how he's
absolutely
improved light years.
100. I already said that.
Yeah, I already said that. Yep, you have.
I already said that. I think his bat. I personally was hoping he was going to be a guy that hit 25, 30 home runs every year. I know that's hard to do. I'm not asking him to be this.
He was touted as that guy coming
right.
up, and sure, yeah, he had pop in college. Yeah,
Don't get me wrong. I'll take the 20 and 97 and hit 280. I think that's key to a good team. I do. It's great that he's hitting 350 or 360, whatever he's hitting right now. Like it's fantastic. I love it. But all I'm saying is we've already got guys. Again, last year we're gonna look at the numbers from last year. We've already got Nick Castellanos and JT Realmuto and who else? Stott. Those guys that hit 15 homers, 20 homers for 80 RBIs. Not we've already got 3 or 4 of those guys. So like, all I'm saying is, I just think that people view him way, way, way better than what he is. He's a very good player. He's a Major League Baseball player. He's probably a top 10 third baseman. Yeah, like he's probably around that. Okay. I don't know that I haven't seen enough in his whole career to say like, yeah, he's going to hit 320.
He's only 3 years into his career.
No, he's not. He's 6. I think this is his 6th year.
This is the 6th. No,
2019 was his rookie year.
Hold, please. He has not been in Major League Baseball for 6 years. And if he is, then I stand corrected.
All right, 2020. It's his 5th year.
Okay, 5th year. It's still more than I thought. I thought this was a 3rd or 4th. But all right. But again, he's still only 27. I mean,
sure.
The baseball prime doesn't really start till 27. Like,
well,
maybe not anymore.
Ask Ted Williams that.
Sure.
I'm joking.
Yeah, right. Okay.
Joking.
Thank you.
But all I'm saying is like he's all right. He's got 44 RBIs. I mean, 4 homers and 32 RBIs. He's hitting 360. This is before today's game, but
it's 349 now for what it's
right.
worth.
So Can he finish the season at 320 and then be a career 265 hitter? Yes, that happens. That's happened before.
Sure,
A
totally.
guy's had a great year before. All I'm going to sit here and say is, yes, if he finished the season at 25 and 110,
Dude, it wasn't. Sure, it
hitting
wasn't.
300. I'm excited. I am. Don't get me wrong, but he's got to do that again next year if he's the guy that everybody keeps selling me. Like that. That's all I'm saying. It's not Alec Boehm that gets on my nerves. It's the people that sit there and say, last year I wouldn't have traded him for a Mount Rushmore third baseman. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I'm not saying I would do that now either. But I'm just saying, like, the people that say he's untouchable is like I'm not looking to trade him either. But like,
I don't think he was. I don't think he was untouchable last year. I think there's starting to be an argument that you can make now that you can't trade him.
personally, I would probably move him to the outfield. And, maybe not even actually. Maybe I take that back. Because he scares the shit out of me when he catches a pop
in a couple years. This is what's going to happen. Like maybe 2, 3, 4 years. You move Stott over to shortstop. You move Turner to center field. You put Boehm at second base. You put Aiden Miller at third base.
Now, what's going to happen is they're going to move Stott back to short. They're going to put Turner at second. They're going to the center fielder is going to be either Crawford, Rojas.
I was just trying to find a way to get Aiden Miller in there somewhere.
Yeah, I hear you. Aiden Miller plays third, and Boehm is either traded or playing one of the corners in the outfield.
Okay.
That's what I think, really, genuinely, like 3, 4, 5 years. I really think that could
Castellanos
be
will be gone at that point.
Right. Because then I think in center field, you either know Rojas is there, whether it's Crawford, whether it's somebody we don't
Marsh
know of right now.
Pache
right.
still here in a few
Schwarber's
years.
not going to be here in 5 years.
No.
Castellanos
And even if
not
he
gonna be
is,
here in
he's
5
DH
years.
anyway.
Right. I do think as Boehm gets older, they would consider moving him to the corner. Although I don't love, he catches a pop up, I
know.
can of corn.
Your heart,
my
your
heart
heart
races.
drops a little bit. Yeah.
So he's definitely gonna have to work on that. But again, I just think that I just don't want 4 guys in the lineup to do the same thing. That's all. And again, I'm going
but if they all do,
last
if
year
they all
and the
do
year
the same,
before and the year before.
Yeah, okay. But if they all do the same thing really well, then what's the issue?
I just think they really need a guy that can protect Harper in the lineup, and they don't have that. Like, I'd rather have one guy that protects Harper that hits you 40 homers or 30 homers and as
that
a
what
right-handed
Schwarber
power
should be?
bat. Yeah, but dude, we already know what Schwarber is. Like, there's no reason I'm fighting if he should hit fourth or not.
No, sure.
There's no argument.
No,
Like,
I'm done with that. Yeah,
right. He's the leadoff hitter. It is what it is. I just think that, and I don't know how much Schwarber really protects Harper in the lineup. Like,
well, as a leadoff guy, it's kind of hard to. But
well, yeah. I mean, if you hit him fourth, like I don't think he sees the same pitches if he's protecting Harper. So, but yeah, I just
forget the idea of JT or Castellanos protecting Harper. Like,
no,
those guys,
they're just not those guys anymore.
No, they're not.
So that I just really want a guy that's going to protect Harper in the lineup. He's going to hit you 30 homers, 30 plus homers, and as a right-handed power bat, and have maybe 2 of those guys in the lineup, like Boehm and JT. Yep. I think Boehm's a really, really, really solid fifth hitter. Like, if they had that 30 homer guy, that right-handed power bat, 40 would be amazing. But that they don't fall, they don't fall off trees. But like,
no,
if they had like a real power bat in the 4-hole, and Boehm hit fifth, like, I think that's so dangerous.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
It's going to be hard to move on from Castellanos because of that contract. He's got 2 more years after this.
I was going to say, he doesn't have... After this, he got 2?
Mm-hmm. He's
signed only 1 after this.
No, he signed a 5-year.
Did he? I thought him and Schwarber both signed 4, no?
No, Schwarber was a 4 for 80. Castellanos was 5 for 100. So you still have 2 more years after this, and Schwarber has 1 more. And I think depending on the way... I think I said on the show a couple weeks ago that I don't think Schwarber will be back after his contract, but I think depending on the way that this team goes, that's not all the way true.
It's just, I mean, the Castellanos thing is tough.
Yeah.
I get when we've talked about it, a bunch. It's like, we're all so excited about it. He was so great in Cincinnati.
He had a career year.
He's great.
He had 34. It was like 34, 100, and
300, I think he batted?
Yeah, I think it was right around 300, yeah. It might have been a little over 3, like 305 or something, or 310.
That was
But
great.
he was in the MVP conversation.
For most of the season. I think he tailed off towards the
Yeah.
end of the year, but for like
I
the
think he was top 5 in MVP voting.
yeah.
But yeah, that contract really hurts, and I think they've really set themselves up for after that contract if they don't trade these guys like Aiden Miller. Aiden Miller might even move to the outfield. You never know.
Sure.
Aiden Miller could play shortstop too. Like
Yep.
there's you could even see Trey Turner, like you said, move to center field. Stott stays at second. Aiden Miller plays shortstop, and Bohm stays at third. You could definitely see that too.
Yep.
I just think Aiden Miller kind of reminds you like Bregman. Like I think he's like an Alex Bregman, like a smaller guy, naturally a shortstop, that's going to hit for a little bit of power. But we'll see.
Bregman hasn't been the same Bregman
The
as
last
he was a few
2-3
years ago.
years,
but like,
no.
But like 3-4 years ago, Bregman was
He had a 40
fucking
homer. He had a 40
incredible.
homer season.
that was great.
He almost did it twice. He had 41, and then I think he had like 38. And then after that, he was like in the mid 20s. But
Yeah.
guess what? My third baseman now doesn't hit in the mid 20s. So like, I'll take that.
He's got what 4? Maybe he could hit mid-20s. He's got 20 more to go.
We're in May.
I know. Listen, the weather's starting to heat up a little bit. Maybe the ball flies a little easier.
Dude, I hope so. This
You
is
never
not
know.
people think like I root against Bohm. I'm not rooting against
I
Bohm.
don't think you're
hope
rooting against him, but
I
I don't
hope
think I don't think you love the player.
I'm close. I am.
Okay.
I'm close. I just don't. It's not Bohm's fault. It's the fan base that thinks he's in the conversation with Jose Ramirez and Nolan Arenado and Rafael Devers and these really elite guys. I don't think he's there. It's great that he hits 360, but like if he's gonna give me 18 homers and 85 RBIs, like it's nice. Don't get me wrong, but like don't sell me on that.
If he finishes the season around 320, does your opinion change, or does he have to?
Well,
do
how
it
many
next
homers and
year,
RBIs
too?
does he have?
Let's
say he hits
50
23
and 95.
Nah, 15 is not enough.
15, not enough. Even if he's
He hit
batting
20
3.
last year.
I know, but you're saying you want a guy that's going to hit mid-20s. I was trying to, if he has a high,
Let's say
average.
Let's say he hits 320. He has, dude, it's really hard to hit 320 and have 23 homers.
That's why I put
Right.
that's why I put 15 there.
No. I think he would have more.
Yeah. Oh,
If
okay.
it hits 320. That's I
Well,
think
he's hitting
he'd have closer to
365, right?
30.
Or he's hitting 350 right now, and he only has
But it's May.
4 homers. Sure,
But it's May.
I get that.
All
All
let's
right,
say
maybe not
hypothetically-
320. Maybe
let's
say he's
say-
batting 310 with 26 home runs, 99 RBIs.
I think
He had
he's closer.
97 last year.
I think he's closer. I think he's closer to those guys. But again, like he's never been that guy either. So like if he comes back next year and does like something similar, like the 25 for 100 and like 295, like all right, I'm in. Like sign me up. I think what the fan base is selling to me is fair for that. I just don't. I think he's a very good player. I like Bohm. I'm excited. He's one of the few guys on this team that when he comes up to bat, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta watch. Like, you know, I think he's the second or third best player on this team. I think it's him, Trey Turner, and Harper. Like,
Yeah.
you know, and Schwarber. Like, I think those are the 4 guys that like I gotta watch. You know, I can't walk into the kitchen. I gotta watch those 4 guys. Like, I do like Bohm a lot. I do. I wanted them to draft him 3rd overall when he was drafted. I think he's a nice player. I really do. I just don't know that he's as good as people say because they like his personality. Like that's what this city does. They hype up Matisse Thybulle. They hype up like, you know,
Shake Milton
and I don't know who are other guys. John Dorenbos. Like these guys that don't do anything and like they're all great guys.
Greg
That's wonderful. Greg Dobbs is a really good bench player. But
great bench player. But that's all.
But like
it was.
just like the hype up these guys and like, I get it. You like them, but like they're not. You know, let's let them like, you know, play. I don't know. I like Bohm a lot. I do. I'm sitting here saying what's the next jersey I get, and he's a thought in my mind.
Yeah, I agree.
So it's not Alec Bohm hate. I'm so close to loving the player. I just think because people like his personality and they think he's a lot of women think he's good looking. Like I get it. Like
Which he's not, by the way.
Darren Dalton was like a nice player. He wasn't great. He wasn't an all timer like people remember. It's just he was a good looking guy and he played hard. Like
sure. And again, He's not a great looking guy.
I listen. If that's what you like, that's what you like. I'm not going to sit here.
I'm just putting it out there.
I hear you.
Speaking.
I'm not disagreeing, but
speaking of great looking guys, it's a weird transition. So I was at the game yesterday, and I was trying to think. I was like, is Gabe Kapler still the general? Or is still the manager of?
No, he got fired last year.
Yeah, he got fired. Do you know where he's currently at? Do you know what his current job is? Because I was floored when I looked this up last night. Do you know what his current job is, Gabe Kapler?
The overnight manager at Walmart on Delaware Avenue.
No. I mean, the organization's not far off, but he is with the Miami Marlins, similar to Walmart. He's not a manager. He's not a coach. He is the assistant general manager.
Okay.
Who gave him an assistant general manager?
It's the same. It's the same people that gave Ruben Amaro Jr. like the first base coach for the Boston Red Sox. Like, where does that fit in?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
This guy was just picking
floored.
guys who he just had this job where he's like scouting guys and being a GM and deciding trades, and now all of a sudden he could tell a guy dig for second, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Baseball's a weird sport.
I was just floored to find out he was an assistant general manager.
Do you know who the hitting coach for the Giants is?
No.
I'll give you a hint. I want you to guess.
Is he a former player?
Yes.
Did he play for the Giants at any point?
Yes.
Did he play for the Phillies at any point?
Yes.
Is it Hunter Pence?
No. I don't know if you know that this guy played for the Giants, though.
What year did he play for the Phillies?
In your lifetime. I'm not going to give you the years because I might give it away.
I have no clue. Chooch? He didn't play for the Phillies. He didn't play for the Giants, did he? Am I right with that era?
Yeah. Right-handed bat.
It's not Worth, is it?
No. I really want you to guess this.
I want to get this too. Victorino?
No.
Burrell. Am I close? Is Burrell?
Burrell. Yep. He's the hitting coach for the Giants this year.
Really?
Yep.
Is he still like big? He's still jacked? I don't know that he's ever jacked, but he's always a big dude.
I don't know. They showed one angle from him. I think it was last night, and he was like kind of in the corner, so you couldn't really like tell. Like you couldn't really see him too well.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the hitting coach for the Giants. He played there for a year or two.
I didn't know that. I was just
he went from here.
That era. I was just naming players from that era. That's all I was doing.
Yeah, I believe he went from he left. They went in 08. He left in 08, and I think he went either to the Rays. I think he went to the Rays, and then the Giants, or the Giants and then the Rays. I forget which way it went.
I thought Hunter Pence was a great guess. Just saying.
Yeah, it was. I mean, from all the clues, it
made sense.
Not a bad guess.
A very underrated player, Hunter Pence. But
he's a he's nice. He was a nice player.
He's a fine player.
Again, he was one of the guys that gave you what you're asking out of Bohm, Castellanos, and Stott. It just there wasn't like 10 guys on the team like there is now. Like that they are asking the same thing out of.
Yep.
That was the problem with the Merrifield thing was like you've already got guys that hit 15 homers and 80 RBIs and hit 300. Like you've already got 3 or 4 of those guys.
Yeah, that's not why they got Merrifield.
No, I understand. I'm just saying like if the thought of like him starting every day when they first signed him, I mean, everybody was like, I don't know about the signing because of that.
Yeah, and I think the reason you sign him is the versatility. He can play a bunch of positions.
Of course, you have a pinch hitter now. Yeah,
right. Pinch hitter. You need to give guys off days here that you kind of move them wherever. And now with Turner going down, he's just going to have to play more.
Yeah, for sure.
More than you expected him to.
Yeah. No, I just think the day that he signed, there were people that were, we already have 3 or 4 of those guys on the team.
Right.
Why do we need another guy? And I think those guys are valuable. I do. I just would if you asked me if I'd rather have a guy that hits like 270 or 260 and hits fucking 35 homers and 95 to 100 RBIs, 100 plus RBIs, or like 3 or 4 of those guys, would I rather have the guy that hits 35 and 100 and hits 260 and like 2 of those guys, or would I rather have 4 of those guys and not that home runner? I'd rather have the home run hitter and the 2 guys, personally. 2 or 3.
I agree.
That's what I want Bohm to be. That's my thing is I'm expecting probably too much out of Bohm. I'm just expecting what people are telling me Like I want
Guy's
to.
at 350 right now. You want more from him?
I just
Greedy fuck.
not this year. I don't want more from him. I'm just saying over his,
You just want to see him. Yeah,
from what I've seen in his career, he's a very nice player. It's just I just want to see.
Consistency.
That's the thing is I'm hoping he becomes the 40 homer guy, if that's what it is. Like
I don't know. I mean, I don't think he'll have
No,
40 homer guy.
but-
I haven't seen that from him.
no, for sure.
But I think realistically, I think 28 to 30 is not out of the question.
he's gonna have to really go on a tear.
Totally. And I think he's got, how many does he have? 4?
I think he
four now?
can get to 20. Yeah, I think he can get to 25.
But to be fair, 2 of those came in the same game.
Right.
So you have
But also look at it
2
like this.
in
Harper
6 weeks.
Harper, and I know Trout's hurt right now, but like look at Harper and Trout. Their over under going into the season was 30.5, right? Trout already had 10 when he got hurt. Like,
Well,
Harper's
that's
got-
why that number's lower, probably, for Trout. Because he just can never stay healthy. Look, if you're expecting Trout to be healthy, I think that number's more like 38, 39.
No, look at his average homers every
Okay.
year.
All right,
It's
fair
around
enough.
30.
Okay.
It's the same thing with Harper. Yeah, they had a year where they hit 40 plus, but like
Well, yeah, Harper's never been a mash 40 homer
no,
guy.
but that's what I'm saying. Like Harper's got 8 homers. Did he have his 8th today? Like he's got 8 homers.
And to
that
be
he's
honest,
gonna hit 30. His over under 30.5. Vegas is not stupid. Like
and
you
to
know?
be honest, Harper hasn't even gotten going yet. Like his average is only like 240.
For sure. I understand that, but I'm just saying, like, Vegas is not stupid. Like,
No, of course not.
Like, they know 30.5. A guy that has 8 homers right now is at 30.5. Like, yeah, he could hit 40. Don't get me wrong, but like, you know, I just don't know that Bohm is like gonna hit 30 plus, like, or 28 to 30. Could he get to the 25 mark? Maybe. I hope so. I'd be ecstatic.
I think that's tough, basically where we are at in the season. He's got to hit 20 more, and he only has 4. I mean,
But didn't you just say he could hit 28 to 30?
I wasn't necessarily talking about this season.
Okay.
I'm saying him as a player. I think that's
I
what
heard
he
that the
could.
last 3 years. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm
He
saying.
came up at
It's
23 years old, 22 years old.
Okay.
Like, he's
That's
20
old. That's older.
Okay.
All I'm saying is exactly what you just said to me. Yeah, he could hit 28 to 30. Has been said the last 3 years.
Sure, fair enough.
That's what angry.
But-
that's what
but I don't-
makes me angry with
sure.
the fan base.
But I don't think anybody expected over 300 though. Like I think people are more lenient on the home run number.
But he's never hit
if he's-
300.
No, what did he do last year?
280.
274. Yeah.
So like, that's what. It's great that he's hitting 349 in May. Let's
Sure.
see when August rolls around. Like last year. Last year he wasn't as good as he is this year, but the first 6 weeks last year he was unbelievable too. I had him in fantasy. I remember like he had a hitting streak last year too, and then as the season goes on, it becomes a grind, and you know that's the name of the game, and he kind of fell off a little bit.
Sure.
And yes, he looks better right now in the first 6 weeks than he did last year. Although he was very good, that's just what happens. It's a grind.
No,
It's what the
for
best
sure.
players do.
Yep. Oh, you got anything else? Or,
No.
Or we can we get
Thought
out
this
of
was
here?
going to be a short show, but we really went
I
in.
did too. Well, to be fair, we spent 35 minutes talking about rat beefs and comedy
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah, true. That's the same show. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly. We talk about everything here on the show, but
Yeah.
we're gonna get out of here. That'll do it this week for Phired Up Sports. Check us out again: Apple Podcast, Spotify, YouTube, everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and we will see everybody next Monday. See you then.